Hi. You're entering a cabin that was built in about 1960 by my husband's father, Chris. Chris is my husband, and his father, Mike, built this when he was an Eagle Scout. So he was very young when he built it, and he hand built it. There weren't, obviously like mechanical tools the way we have them now. So he built the log cabin, and now we've just kind of added to that. So this is originally where we slept. There's a loft that you can pull down. And you can, I don't know how messy it is because my grandkids are staying up there, but you can sleep up there. It's just a queen size bed. And then we redid the floor this year and we went to start using in-floor heat, but electric in-floor heat instead of water in-floor heat. And it's been really awesome so far. So then we laid new vinyl on top of it. But we got new cupboards for the bottom and a new copper farmhouse sink and faucet. And I painted all these. They're just the regular knockdown, like plain cabinets from Lowe's. But this hardware is all, and I have to do all the touch-ups on the cabinets, but this hardware is from a local artist, a local Alaskan artist with he works with wrought iron. And what I did was just sprayed copper spray paint on them before I hung them because I wanted copper accents. Little things that I added that I thought could bring in the copper things would be like the covers that go, are just magnetic on things. We don't have much room, obviously. This entire cabin is like, I think it's 20 by 16. We did this to hope to have our like kind of buffet of beverage station, so coffee and ice and stuff like that. And then it kind of moved things around and added the kitchen dining table and the TV above it. And then we did the remodel where we added the addition of the master bedroom, and it is not done. We're about halfway done, but Chris is going to finish it. But you'll get an idea here. So these are what the cabinets looked like before I painted them. But he's going to do big trim all the way around. This will be painted so it kind of ties in with the cabinets. This will all be trimmed in and a door jamb built out, and then this will be the pocket door. He just made this door temporarily out of wood that we had laying around from the sawmill. But yeah, this will all be kind of an elaborate thing that you walk through. Fun thing about the ceiling is he made it to where I would barely fit under, so he did everything at about 5'6". Oh, I forgot. Actually, maybe my favorite thing besides the copper sink is the Mexican tiles. So if you turn from this direction, you can see on the cove where there would normally, on the toe kick where there would normally be like cove base, I just put up with liquid nails some 4x4 inch Mexican hand painted tiles that I got off Amazon. We're living in a construction zone right now, but you get the idea for the start. So he made a barrel ceiling. You can see that it's curved. In order to get it to bend like this, he had to do green lumber. So we cut our cottonwood trees down. He milled them into little small strips of wood and then hung them like this wet, and then they dried. But just to show you, just a few days later after we did it, we knew it would shrink, but this just shows you this was all the way to the wall, and within a couple of days it had shrunk in that much. Cottonwood is cool because it actually shrinks to the heart of the wood, so it kind of will go this way, so you'll see the other major gap on that side. So he'll have to fill these gaps. This is all paneling that he made out of the wood on our property. Again, we're going with kind of the barrel thing. So this will all be built out and it'll be like a little tunnel that you go into. I think we'll get rid of the shower. This is just right now so we can use it, but you'll get rid of the shower curtain. This will just be a standalone tub. And then I'm actually doing glass mosaic tile floor to ceiling, a big scene here that you'll be able to, when this is opened, this door that'll be here or curtain, you'll just be able to see the full mosaic. This one he did a turret. So I don't know if you can go in, but it's a kind of, you know, if you look at a circular building on the outside, it's a turret. So eventually this will probably have a couple windows in it, but he did a sink, kind of a custom functioning seat with a bidet. The toilet seat we have to get longer, but, and then he milled up some white oak and made that right there. And he's going to do some custom cabinetry again all along inside here. So that'll be a really fun thing. But that's the new bedroom edition.
How many years did you go without having a toilet in the cabin?
31, 32 actually.
And now it's
32
just right
years.
there.
Yeah, we can just get up, which my 50-year-old self is appreciative. And then this deck we added on, and this isn't the finished product by any means, but we weren't sure actually what we wanted to end up doing with it. So we kind of left it rough for now and haven't finished staining or anything. But we think what'll happen is this deck is going to go out about another 6 feet and come around and kind of be a circle, but then have a step down here. Kind of a really beautiful step down. We'll mulch all of this to keep it flat and have some maybe outdoor seating out here for maybe 20 or 30 people to be able to hang out. Do step down and do an outdoor kitchen right here under like a covered outdoor kitchen. And then we're going to have a staircase that goes around this tree and becomes a really cute little tree house up there for the kids to play. The bathroom we went in earlier, that's where the tub is right here. All of these shakes on here are cottonwood shakes from the property here, milled from our trees. This is the turret, the side of the bathroom, like where you saw the little toilet and everything. And we've just briefly stained over some of it because we haven't finished all this, but just so it wasn't an eyesore, we just, you know, I shot some stain on it. But there'll probably be a couple little small windows here. We're thinking stained glass would be really cool. Eventually out here, we're going to build out this deck a little bit. Eventually that'll be like a little private jacuzzi for Chris and I. We have been brainstorming about some really fun rock stacking area we want to do here. So you can see that set of stacked rocks there. We're thinking about doing something kind of like that all around the fireplace, and then actually making a concrete little shelf so you can put your stuff you want to cook right on the thing. One of the struggles with this property is that everything is very cottagey, which means you're dealing with like lower roofs, which you don't want them to just kind of build it where everything kind of covers up everything else that's already there. So it's a lot about thinking about elevation and how it's going to look overall with the aesthetic of the property. But right now, this is a great little fire pit for us. The fun thing about this is it's actually an original fire pit from the gold rush years. So Hope was one of the original gold rush towns, and so this was on our property. We dug it up way deep down when we were doing some work, and actually the family has been using this fire pit for 40 or 50 years. So the vision for this is that this area that we've kind of mulched here is going to be a long greenhouse that'll match the property, and it'll be long and skinny, and we're going to have seating that runs through the middle so we can all sit at a picnic table or something in the middle and actually be able to eat meals in the greenhouse if we want. This is right now what we have for a vegetable garden. So we got lettuce and kale and stuff, and then we got flowers, lavender, rosemary, a bunch of mint, chives. These are all snap peas. We even got some snap peas growing. Look at that. This is rosemary. It smells so awesome. Anyway, these are all solar lights. They light up at night. Broccoli, all that. And then over here, this is what's going to turn more and more into, develop more and more into the fruit garden. So we've got a couple apple trees. We already got some apples. You can see them going, which I'm super psyched about. A whole bunch of raspberry trees throughout here, and lots of ferns, which of course you could eat. Actually, they're pretty good. So anyway, this will be developed more, but this is going to be a fun area here. This area over here is eventually going to be a lot of more enchanted gardens. So think like little bridges and tunnels and like lots of kind of the darker little sitting rooms and things throughout. Lots of little pathways. There'll be a couple more little tiny homes built in here. This I found at Facebook Marketplace just a little bit ago, a few weeks ago, and I loved it. It was just a vintage wrought iron, plant stand. So I ordered all these. I ordered like 20 of these little vases and just put little flowers in them. For some reason, I just like all the color of them. The goal is that all throughout the property, there's little stories and magical things people can stumble upon. And so I'm just now in the process of beginning to build those. And I don't know if this is actually where this little art installation I'm going to make is going to go eventually. But the first idea came, I inherited this grass here from my grandpa that was always in his lawn, and I love it, but it was a little too, I don't know. I didn't want it to be looked that way. So you can see all the cottonwood seeds on it. They're just like snowing cottonwood, and a dog pooped on it already. But anyway, I just spray painted it bright pink, and my goal is to get other large animals and paint them different bright colors, so it'll be a whole family of freak animals. And also it has a broken horn there, and I don't want to fix it, even though I have it, because I think it's cooler that it's broken. I overwatered, so you can see that there's a puddle in the pathway, but normally this is the pathway here that we'd walk through. That you can see there's a little pathway going to the playhouse we made with Jesse and Crystal and the kids last summer, and then we moved to the swing over here. I've got more grass going in to fill that out, but all these are rhododendrons going across, so they'll bloom. They're evergreen, but they'll bloom once a year, just huge. They've actually been blooming a couple of times. You can get an idea for what they bloom. But we've got a lighter and a darker pink. We got some boxwood, some azalea going in. We just all these rocks are just rocks from the property that we just picked up other places, river rock, and lined this. The goal is that this is actually one long tunnel of flowers, and then I'm going to plant another tunnel of flowers underneath it, a different color tunnel, so it'll really look like you're kind of walking through a maze of flowers. And then I planted these honeysuckles through the ground, and they're already growing so much, so they'll eventually just cover this whole thing with honeysuckle, which I love. So then we've got lots of flowers. Our whole plan was to do some cut gardens, so we've got this will all fill in to be rows underneath here of different flowers. But we've got peonies going in and all sorts of stuff, begonias. This is the wildflower garden though, so you can see all those coming up are the wildflowers we just planted, the seeds. We got more peonies. I got to reattach all my bird cages. So we've got choke cherries and lilacs and choke cherries and lilacs. So it'll just be one giant mound, and then even where you're standing is going to be the next row of large trees. I'm really excited about how all this will kind of fill in, and then we'll just keep adding more and more and more to it. Just another little art installation that's not at all done, but I got an ET off Temu a few months ago with this idea that I would have a bike and with flowers or whatever coming out of it, and I would hang it. So I was actually not thinking about the hanging it. I was thinking you would kind of stumble upon ET in the woods. But then a friend said you need to run a cable from tree to tree somewhere on the property and have it rigged up there so it looks like he's flying. But if you turn around, this is the perfect thing for fake stadium seating.
Oh, yeah.
So you could have really colorful boards or maybe wire chairs or something on each of these levels and have it be a fun way to sit. Maybe some solar string lights and stuff to enjoy maybe a little yard show, or I don't know, something fun like that.
What's been your favorite project over the last 30 years that you have done?
I think it would be this garden. I think it would be this garden right here. Because this was, just in literally at the beginning of May, this was just just wasteland kind of, and a whole ton of trees and stuff. And so since May till now, July 3rd, I even helped excavate and level the ground and bring in topsoil and then build all this out of that. And that's been pretty fun and rewarding.